r/NoSleep. Posted by you/already user 49. Our family has only one rule: cover your ears at 2:33 a.m. Being a 16-year-old boy in a small town in America doesn't sound fun. And it's not. Although, for my parents, this town was a dream come true. We are financially stable, thanks to the jobs they love. Even though this town is far from being a metropolis, it somehow manages to provide for everyone. The neighborhood we live in is also a beautiful place full of happy people. The neighbors are kind and caring. People go to the store with a smile on their faces while greeting each other on their way. We all seem to love our little heaven. I don't know exactly when my parents moved in, but at least I'm sure I was born here. My father has rarely said anything about the move-in, so the only source of information was my mother. That day, it was the first time your dad and I felt so loved. She used to say. Though, no matter how hard I tried, I was never able to get the answers I had desperately needed. Are the earplugs uncomfortable? They would always assume. That was never the issue. The curiosity was uncomfortable and sometimes even unbearable. At the beginning, I said I was happy, which is true. But, besides love, this town fills my heart with fear too. Here, no one's life is perfect. Or should I say, night. We always cover our ears at 2:33 a.m. to not hear the sounds coming from the manhole on the street. It only lasts a minute. That's what my mother told me, at least. I'd never questioned it because she said that not wearing earplugs could result in hearing loss. The earplugs we wear are made of high-quality reusable wax, so we don't hear anything. It's easy to manipulate a child. And, since I didn't want to be deafened, I listened. I've been wearing soundproof earplugs every night for 11 years. As I said earlier, sometimes the curiosity was unbearable. I wanted to hear whatever sounds were coming from the manhole. Or at least see what was making them. That's why one night, with my earplugs in, I peeked out the window at exactly 2:33 a.m. Nothing. There was nothing on the street. I was about to go back to sleep when I saw something from the corner of my eye. My heart was racing as I was looking at the manhole lid jumping up and down. I immediately closed the blinds and stared at them for the next few seconds, frozen. I remember not being able to fall asleep that night. All I was thinking about was the manhole. Is there a monster living in the sewers? Eventually, tiredness took over my fear and I fell asleep. The next day, I decided to confront my parents about the sounds and the rule. I don't know what I expected, but I do know what I got. Blank stares. That's all. Not a sentence, not a word. For God's sake, just yell at me for peeking out the window. Since that day, months have passed, years. I still wear earplugs every night. My parents have a different tactic, though. They have an alarm set because they stay awake until 3 a.m. I usually have trouble falling asleep because of it. One night, I stayed up until 2:20 a.m. I got lost in the music. After glancing at my watch, I went downstairs for a glass of water. I was looking out the window while I was waiting for my glass to fill. Again, nothing on the street. Once I turned off the faucet, complete silence started ringing in my ears. The feeling was strange. Silence. So quiet yet so loud. For a moment, I thought I was wearing earplugs. Even though the silence was absolute, I wasn't the only one in the room. I screamed when I saw someone sitting at the dining table. It took me some time to realize that the scary silhouette was my father. Dad? I stuttered. He didn't turn around. He didn't even acknowledge my existence. What are you doing here? And where are your earplugs? It's almost 2:33 a.m. I asked, confused. Sit down. He calmly said. I didn't want to be lectured about staying up late, so I ignored his request. My father let out a sigh and said again, sit down. Getting on his bad side was not on my wish list, so this time, I listened. What time is it? He asked after I took a seat. Dad, it's almost 2:33 a.m. What are you doing? I asked again, nervously. He didn't answer. Instead, he got up and grabbed a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. I can't drink that, I said. Sure you can. He calmly replied. After pouring the Tempranillo wine, he said. We're waiting. I didn't understand, at first. For what? I rushed to ask. He ignored the question again and took the first sip of his wine. That's when I realized. No. No, we're not doing that. Are you out of your mind? I yelled. Have you ever wondered what ruins your life? He said, out of nowhere. I had to think about that sentence for a moment. Are you truly happy, John? He continued. This time, I was the one who wasn't answering. I didn't know what to say. The series of unexpected questions left me stunned. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall. Dad, the sounds are about to start. I finally said, timidly. Felicità. E tenersi per mano andare lontano, la felicità. The alarm went off too, scaring the life out of me. That was the last warning before the storm. My father took another sip of his wine. Son. There are no sounds, he said. I refused to believe that. I was running out of time. So, I jumped out of my chair and ran upstairs as fast as I possibly could. I managed to put in the earplugs before 2:33 a.m. I was just standing there in the middle of the room, waiting for the sounds to end. The strange thing is, I don't remember falling asleep. It felt as if the whole night had gotten blown away by the wind. In the morning, I looked for my dad downstairs. I don't know why I expected him to still be there. Someone else was sitting at the table, though. It was my mom. She was in tears. What happened? I asked, worried. John. Sit down. The same place felt so much different. The wine bottle on the table was still there, and yet, everything seemed new. Your father lost his job yesterday. I was stunned. I don't know where he is. He's probably trying to get his job back, but I doubt he will succeed, she said and started drinking straight from the bottle. I could feel my face turn red. My palms were sweating as I started breathing rapidly. Are you okay, honey? She asked. I looked at her. I started to cry. That's when I realized. He wasn't trying to get his job back. He tried to get his life back. Tilda. It's been 3 months since I lost my father. It's tragic, but above all, it left a huge hole in me. Even though nothing has directly told me, I can feel that he's down there, somewhere. Down in the sewers along with everyone curious. I loved my father. And it took him. Is it a monster? A ghost? A black hole? I'm not sure. All I know is that I'll keep wearing my earplugs to not find out. At the end of the day, we're the ones who, without permission, settled down in someone's world. It doesn't matter if it's under the ground, it still belongs to someone, or something. And if covering our ears is the only rule we have to follow to have access to its magic, I'll make sure to not break it.